Association of Graduates has presented the Sylvanus Thayer Award to an outstanding citizen of the United States whose service and accomplishments in nation's interest exemplify a personal devotion to the ideals expressed in the West Point motto, duty, honor, country. While the cadets assemble for the review, we would like to give you a brief history of the actions you will observe on the plane today. Military drill plays a fundamental role in the history of soldiering. Drill prepared troops for battle, and for the most part, drill procedures used in the days of old copied actual battlefield maneuvers. It was this realistic aspect of drill that made it such an important part of training. Even today, as new weapons call for new tactics, drill remains a necessary and useful training activity. Over 200 years ago, the problem of training an army already at war confronted the founders of our nation. George Washington's Continental Army, after continual losses to superior British forces, suffered from lack of organization, discipline, and teamwork. Washington recognized the poor state of morale and hired a distinguished Prussian officer who specialized in the instruction of drill and discipline. Baron von Steuben arrived at Valley Forge in the winter of 1778 to face an army of several thousand half-starved, ragged men. He immediately set to work writing drill regulations for a company of 120 soldiers, chosen from various units in the Continental Army. Discipline soon became the cornerstone of military life for the soldiers of the model company, as they learned to obey commands without hesitation. By mastering the art of drill through teamwork, the men developed a collective sense of pride in themselves and their unit. Observers watching the model company were astonished to see how quickly and orderly the troops formed and maneuvered into different battle formations. Later, General Washington distributed the members of the model company throughout the army to teach what they had been taught. Through this simple emphasis on drill, the effectiveness and efficiency of the Continental Army greatly improved. In 1779, to ensure continuity and uniformity, von Steuben wrote the American Army's first field manual, the Regulations for the Order and Discipline of Troops of the United States, commonly referred to as the Blue Book. You will see the cadets saluting throughout the review on the command of present arms. Since the earliest of times, men of arms have used some form of salute as a means of greeting one another. In the age of chivalry, horse-mounted knights wore steel armor, which completely covered the face and body. When two friendly knights met, they would each lift their visors with their right hand to expose their faces to each other and use their left hand to hold the horse's reins. Not only did this allow the knights to recognize each other, but it was also a deliberate movement of their sword hand away from their swords. Over time, this action became a significant gesture of friendship, camaraderie, and respect. The act of raising the right hand to the visor continued even after steel body armor became obsolete with the invention of modern firearms. Today, the most commonly observed form of this exchange is the hand salute, given as a recognition and friendly greeting to a comrade in the honorable profession of arms. For today's review, spectators are reminded to stand and render appropriate courtesies for honors, our national anthem, and when the colors pass your position. It is appropriate for civilians at these times to stand with the right hand placed over the heart. Veterans and currently serving members of the United States Armed Forces who are not in uniform may render the hand salute. Currently assembled on the plane is the United States Military Academy Band and the band's field music group, the Hellcats. At the time of the American Revolution, the band consisted of a single drummer and fifer and has evolved into one of the most capable and professional performing groups in the world. As the oldest musical organization in the United States Army, the West Point Band has been inspiring America's leaders for over 200 years. The bugle call just heard was attention. It is used to alert the cadet commanders that adjutant's call is about to sound, signaling the start of the review. Bugle calls are used in the military service of the United States as a direct result of the contact of the Continental Army with European soldiers and armies during the Revolutionary period. Marching in today's review are cadets from allied nations enrolled in the 4-year program at the United States Military Academy. Upon graduation, they will serve in the armed forces of their respective countries. The marches that will be played as the cadets march onto the plane are Washington Post, Battle Cry of Freedom, and Man of the Hour.
The commander of troops for today's parade is the brigade commander, Cadet First Captain Riley McGinnis from Macungie, Pennsylvania. Her staff consists of the brigade deputy commander, Cadet Captain Tyrese Bender from San Antonio, Texas. The brigade adjutant, Cadet Captain Emma Lawson from Monroe, Michigan. The brigade public affairs officer, Cadet Captain Angeline Trichler from Tallahassee, Florida. The brigade operations officer, Cadet Captain Christopher Plock from Vernon, New Jersey. The brigade logistics officer, Cadet Captain Katarina Christensen from Carver, Minnesota, and the brigade communications officer, Cadet Captain Scott Donnellan from Emmett, Michigan. The reviewing party for today's review consists of Lieutenant General Darrell A. Williams, Superintendent of the United States Military Academy, Class of 1983. Ambassador Ryan C. Crocker, the recipient of the 2020 Sylvanus Thayer Award. Command Sergeant Major Michael Coffey, Command Sergeant Major of the United States Military Academy, and Lieutenant General Joseph E. DeFrancisco, Chairman of the West Point Association of Graduates, Class of 1965.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for honors, and please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. The inspection of the troops affords the commander the opportunity to inspect the discipline and readiness of the assembled units. As the commander approaches the unit, the command of "Eyes Right" is given to render honors as the commander passes their location. The march that will be played during the inspection of troops is Bugle and Drums. The United States Military Academy and the West Point Association of Graduates take great pride in honoring the 2020 Sylvanus Thayer Award recipient, Ambassador Ryan C. Crocker. Ryan Crocker retired from the Foreign Service in April 2009 after a career of more than 37 years, but was recalled to active duty by President Obama to serve as U.S. Ambassador to Afghanistan in 2011. He has served as U.S. Ambassador 6 times: Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Syria, Kuwait, and Lebanon. He has also served as the International Affairs Advisor at the National War College, where he joined the faculty in 2003. From May to August 2003, he was in Baghdad as the first Director of Governance for the Coalition Provisional Authority and was Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs from August 2001 to May 2003. Since joining the Foreign Service in 1971, he also has had assignments in Iran, Qatar, Iraq, and Egypt, as well as Washington, D.C. He was assigned to the American Embassy in Beirut during the Israeli invasion of Lebanon in 1982 and the bombings of the embassy and the Marine barracks in 1983. Born in Spokane, Washington, he grew up in an Air Force family, attending schools in Morocco, Canada, and Turkey, as well as the United States. He received a bachelor's in English in 1971 and an honorary Doctor of Laws degree in 2001 from Whitman College. He also holds an honorary doctorate in National Security Affairs from the National Defense University, honorary Doctor of Laws degrees from Gonzaga University and Seton Hall University, as well as an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree from the American University of Afghanistan. He is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, the American Academy of Diplomacy, and the Association of American Ambassadors. In August 2013, he was confirmed by the United States Senate to serve on the Broadcasting Board of Governors, which oversees all U.S. government-supported civilian international media. He is also on the board of directors for Mercy Corps International and is a trustee of the Rockefeller Brothers Fund. Ambassador Crocker received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian award, in 2009. His other awards include the Presidential Distinguished and Meritorious Service Awards, the U.S. Naval Academy's inaugural Bancroft Award, the Secretary of State's Distinguished Service Award, the Department of Defense Medal for Distinguished Civilian Service, and for Distinguished Public Service, the State Department's Award for Valor, and the American Foreign Service Association's Rivkin Award for Creative Dissent. He received the National Clandestine Services Donovan Award in 2009 and the Director of Central Intelligence's Director Award in 2012. In 2011, he was awarded the Marshall Medal by the Association of the United States Army. In January 2002, he was sent to Afghanistan to reopen the American Embassy in Kabul. He subsequently received Robert C. Fraser Memorial Award for Exceptional Courage and Leadership in Afghanistan. In September 2004, President Bush conferred him on the personal rank of Career Ambassador, the highest in the Foreign Service. In May 2009, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton announced the establishment of the Ryan C. Crocker Award for Outstanding Achievement in Expeditionary Diplomacy. In July 2012, he was named an Honorary Marine, the 75th civilian so honored in the history of the Corps. Ambassador Crocker served as Dean of the Bush School of Government and Public Service, Texas A&M University, until August 2016. He also has had appointments as the James Schlesinger Distinguished Visiting Professor at the University of Virginia, as the first Kissinger Senior Fellow at Yale University, and most recently, as a diplomat in residence at the Princeton School of Public and International Affairs.
The pass and review serves two functions for the superintendent. It dismisses the cadets and at the same time provides an opportunity to inspect the state of discipline and training. As the cadets pass and review before the reviewing party, members of each unit will turn their head and eyes and salute on the command "Eyes Right." The marches that will be played as the cadets pass and review are the official West Point March, Riders for the Flag, Stars and Stripes Forever, and the Army Goes Rolling Along. The United States Military Academy Band is under the direction of Chief Warrant Officer II, Jonathan Crane, with the drum major, Sergeant Major Glenn West. The 1st Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Tyler Shackleton from Springfield, Illinois. The regimental command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Isaac Nawa from Reading, Pennsylvania. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Taylor Mulkins from Palmer, Alaska. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Andrew Bolus from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Elizabeth Craig from Buena Park, California. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Hollis Clark from Chicago, Illinois. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Clayton Shivers from LaGrange, Georgia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Leon Shrive from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Kevin King from Evansville, Indiana. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Drew Durkin from Darien, Connecticut. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Leighton McAlpin from Buffalo, Minnesota. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Joshua Jackson from Grand Ridge, Illinois. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain William Naiman from Saratoga Springs, New York. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet 1st Sergeant Peyton Visconti from Waxahachie, Texas. E is commanded by Cadet Captain John Pack from Fremont, California. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Sam Worley from Naperville, Illinois. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Nicholas Epperson from Newbern, North Carolina. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Lee Hao Tan from Singapore. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Connor McQueen from Lavona, Michigan. The battalion command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Cade Mashburn from Edmond, Oklahoma. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Neil Blackwell from Wilson, North Carolina. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Chloe Tran from Falls Church, Virginia. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Colin Keogh from Westchester, Pennsylvania. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Gregory Lair from Moline, Illinois. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Joseph Girardi from Clovis, California. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Jeffrey Ross from Syracuse, New York. The 2nd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Evan Walker from Rowlett, Texas. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Bruce Nill from Laguna Beach, California. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Robert Smith from Athens, Alabama. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major George Pavlakis from Hartford, Connecticut. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Sophia Hine from West Lafayette, Indiana. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Tyler Razovich from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Scott Moore from Clarksville, Tennessee. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Josiah Spain from West Point, New York. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Bo Cooley from Southfield, Michigan. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Austin Packard from Huntsville, Alabama. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Christopher Bang from Candler, North Carolina. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Nicole Moss from Kansas City, Missouri. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Madison Tague from Honolulu, Hawaii. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Garrett Brown from Spokane, Washington. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Brianna Murrin from Sarasota, Florida. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Ezra Harris from Austin, Texas. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Ryan Benz from Atwater, California. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Caitlin Zotter from Raleigh, North Carolina. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Nicholas McDonald from Arvada, Colorado. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Miriam Smith from St. Louis, Missouri.
Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Ivan Pearson from Annandale, Minnesota. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Olivia Carter from Altamonte Springs, Florida. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain John Boyer from Huntsville, Alabama. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Robin Howe from Burbank, California. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Garrett Rummer from Kalamazoo, Michigan. The first sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Jared Duquesne from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Since the days of the American Revolution, flag bearers have been an important element in ceremonies. At the center of today's formation and bearing the national color is the United States Corps of Cadet Color Guard led by Cadet Color Captain Joseph Cotton from Phoenix, Arizona. Marching with the colors is the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Reuben Jones from Durham, North Carolina.
The 3rd Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Eric Parr from Louisville, Kentucky. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Noah Wallace from Sacramento, California. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Dan Muncaster from Crest Hill, Illinois. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Lixreen Ngimi from Cameroon. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Evan Harris from Houston, Texas. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Natalia Rivera from Killeen, Texas. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Emma Record from Farmington, Minnesota. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Zorian Flowers from Chicago, Illinois. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Kativan Anthony from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Isaac Anthony from Fayetteville, Arkansas. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Elizaveta Fursova from Austin, Texas. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Foster from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Pierce Terry from Richmond, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Ainsley Burrell from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Lexi West from West Point, New York. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Reed Bauer from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Eric Vick from Stillwater, Minnesota. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Andrew Dunham from Omaha, Nebraska. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain George Moore from Birmingham, Alabama. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Thomas Hanna from Seattle, Washington. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Bryce Ott from Houston, Texas. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Lane Erickson from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Tully Boylan from West Point, New York. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Brody Lowe from Hyde Park, Utah. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Christian Wickoff from Sammamish, Washington. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Michael Jones from Middletown, New York. The 4th Regiment is commanded by Cadet Captain Langdon Ogburn from Raleigh, North Carolina. The Regimental Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Gregory Coleman from Hohokus, New Jersey. The 1st Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Raven Hudspeth from St. Louis, Missouri. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Evan Shoemaker from Phoenix, Arizona. Company A is commanded by Cadet Captain Trevor Halleck from La Mirada, California. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Daniel Walton from Perrysburg, Ohio. Company B is commanded by Cadet Captain Walter Wecker from Redding, California. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Kennedy Warren from Dallas, Texas. Company C is commanded by Cadet Captain Ivan Figueroa Checo from Tucson, Arizona. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Mitchell Gilley from Cleveland, Ohio. The 2nd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Nathaniel Rodriguez from El Paso, Texas. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Charles Depchek from Warren, Michigan. Company D is commanded by Cadet Captain Justice McHenrick from Bristow, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Bianca Greer from Castro Valley, California. Company E is commanded by Cadet Captain Benjamin Snyder from Indianapolis, Indiana. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Mitchell Cook from Omaha, Nebraska. Company F is commanded by Cadet Captain Chris LaJeunesse from Montpelier, Vermont. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Minky Seo from Boston, Massachusetts. The 3rd Battalion is commanded by Cadet Captain Jack Cronister from Alachua, Florida. The Battalion Command Sergeant Major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Dylan Leach from Jesup, Georgia. Company G is commanded by Cadet Captain Jack Boyle from Springfield, Virginia. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Eleanor Drexler from Bettendorf, Iowa. Company H is commanded by Cadet Captain Christian Falk from Buffalo, New York. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Richard Russell from Port Huron, Michigan. Company I is commanded by Cadet Captain Blake Watson from Clover, South Carolina. The 1st Sergeant is Cadet First Sergeant Kaylee Conrad from Reno, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song, "The Army Goes Rolling Along." Please feel free to sing along as it is played. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's review. Thank you for attending and enjoy the rest of your evening.